Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is 8:30, and we'd like to do this on time. So we are into the Redevelopment Agency meeting of August 3rd, 2022 is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2. You may also watch this meeting live on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and on the Go Vegas app. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the internet at www.kclv.tv/live. These proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2, the web Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., Friday 4 a.m., Saturday 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 5 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection suppression sprinkler systems. If alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exit back of the chambers, going out to the mezzanine, proceed out the double doors to the terrace, and go down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with one of our marshals or fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First Streets. Employees wearing safety vests or city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related items on the agenda, citizen participation and public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to our city clerk up front. Cards are available in the clerk's office or at the rear of these chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If anyone's present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please see our city clerk's staff. And if you parked in the parking garage across the street, a self-validation machine is located in the foyer between council chambers and the security desk you walk through to enter chambers. You must have your ticket with you to use the machine, but if you do not, please see security personnel when exiting for a validation coupon. We'll move on to agenda item 3. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium, state your name for the record. We'll set the time at 1 minute. Hearing seen no one, we'll move on to agenda item 4. Discussion for possible action regarding the interlocal library development agreement authorizing the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, to contribute funds to the City of Las Vegas City for purchase of the leasehold improvements owned by the Las Vegas Clark County Library District at 955 West Lake Mead Boulevard, not to exceed $3,500,000 RDA Special Revenue Fund, Redevelopment Area Ward 5, Councilman Creer. And please note this item is related to the council agenda, item 30 R392022. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Mayor and members of council. Ryan Smith, Director of Economic and Urban Development for the record. I'm excited to bring forward this item today, and I'm joined by Mr. Kelvin Watkins, the Executive Director of the Library District, as well as Mr. John Vino, the General Services Director of the district, and the infamous architect, Mr. Mel Green, that will be doing the architectural design for this new library. I did want to note, Mayor, you noted that this item is just to approve the RDA to fund the purchase of the improvements that currently exist for the West Las Vegas Library. There'll be another item on the City Council agenda to actually approve the interlocal agreement, but we have all the representatives from the Library District here this morning. Before I go into the presentation, I did want to thank a few people. Julie Quisenberry from the EUD team was instrumental in getting this done. The legal office, John Rodilla and Nick Niarchos, and obviously Mr. Watkins and Mr. Vino and their whole legal team as well. So I'm going to cover the deal points and then the site, and then I'm going to turn it over to the library team to discuss the project. But just for some context on the current library, we have a lease that we actually executed back in October 21 of 1987. And there's been some amendments since, but that is the current facility that's located at 955 Westlake Mead Avenue. In this agreement, the city is going to be purchasing the leasehold improvements. So essentially, the city still owns the land. They built all the buildings. We're buying out that lease. There you can see for $3.22 million. And then we're contributing the site, which I'll show on the next slide, over in Enterprise Park off Mount Moriah and MLK for the new library. So essentially, that's what this deal is. They'll go over some conceptual renderings of the new building, but it'll be around 35,000 square feet. They're going for a LEED certification. They're also going to have some really great new programming in the new facility, and they're going to continue their programming in the current facility until that new facility is completely built, and then we're going to work together to continue to program the theater and some of the things that the community really likes that's already being done in the building. So with that, I'll show you the site map here. In yellow shows the new site of the new library. Right there, just south of Mount Moriah Drive and just to the west of MLK. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Watkins to continue the presentation.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Smith, and welcome. This is so exciting and so needed. Wonderful. Please continue.
Good morning, Mayor, City Council. Kelvin Watson for the record. The function of the 21st Century Library is a public venue for convening communities, people of different age groups, cultures, shared values, and social connectivity within an ever-increasing domain of knowledge. The idea of the library and about extending into the larger landscape, evolving the engaged and shaping the ecosystem of our communities, that's what we're planning for the West Las Vegas Library. Offering lifelong learning, training on career advancement, and social services support, as well as addressing the digital divide in our society. We are reimagining the library of the future to emerge a community's place, a social condenser and urban incubator for knowledge generation, storage, and sharing. An evolution of a library that is vibrant and continue to be a vital member of the community. That's the plan for this development, and a basis for outreach efforts to underserved and diverse populations, with initiatives targeting traditional as well as non-traditional library users. Our vision is to provide the library of the future with significant public space, a place for community building, meetings, and just be a catalyst for urban revitalization, supporting the urban ambition for the library to be a civic center and hub for social support. Our buildings are ideally poised to become community service delivery centers, and once again, libraries will be called upon to reinvent our role as the great equalizers of this society.
Wonderful.
So we'll talk about some of the preliminary features. I'll turn it over to Mel and to John to kind of talk about the concepts and what the plan is for the building.
Wonderful.
Sure.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor and City Council, my name is Mel Green, Principal at KME Architects, 5195 South Durango Drive. I'm happy to be here to be part of this team. I've been working in the community for a very long time. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring the 21st Century Library to the community in terms of connectivity, how we brand the museum itself, and how we integrate it to the site. We want to make sure it's sustainable in terms of going for a LEED and a Green Globe. We also had a lot of comments from the community on what they wanted to see. And so most of the communities from Fordyce, Arkansas, and Toulouse, Louisiana. So the front porch concept was very important to us. The front porch symbolizes a place where you can gather, you can talk, about the neighborhood, and you can also understand what's going on in the community. And so we wanted to have a front entrance that would be that front porch. We also wanted to include what we call the grand lobby. The grand lobby, as you walk in, you'll experience a lot of the different things and culture aspects. Two-story with what we call trees columns inside the building. We also wanted to create an outdoor space. We'll have a terrace. On the top floor, we'll have a secure outdoor space, so you'll be able to learn on the outside as well, and then also create a visual aspect in terms of the lighting, the landscaping, perhaps having sculptures in the front, and creating a plaza where we can provide festivals like food trucks, and other community events as well. So with that, I'll turn it over to John.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. This brings a lot of what we learned from our East Las Vegas library. It includes an event space of 3,400 square feet. It includes an educational suite where we will have partnerships, and then our library. We're focusing on maker spaces. We're focusing on education. We're focusing on expanding our computer lab. Everything about this is bringing what we've needed to our current library and our current patrons, but just weren't able to do in the limited space that we had available.
So these are just some more examples of the concepts that we're thinking about with all of the open space, the connectivity. Some of this has already changed though because because of the green space and just knowing that we might have some issues. So we're still in the very beginning stages of that conversation.
That green space is actually going to symbolize the connectivity between the Legacy Park. So we want to bring the flow from Legacy Park into the library space, site space, as well as bring that outdoor-indoor effect. So we're looking at that grand lobby would be the catalyst for bringing in the outdoor space into the inside. And so as you drive through down Martin Luther King, you'll be able to see the interior of the grand lobby as well.
Wow.
That it?
So that was, again, thank you for the presentation, and that's what we have, and we kindly ask for your approval.
Well, wonderful and terribly exciting. I'm wondering a couple of things. Have you looked, I'm sure you have, knowing you, Mr. Watkins, for sure, and Mr. Green, well enough to know. Did you model what you've done here on any other modern-day library? What are the amenities, perhaps, just to make sure?
Yeah, we did. The East Las Vegas, we learned the pros and cons of that project. Mm-hmm. So it was a very enlightening meeting. We had workshops to determine what worked well and what didn't work well. And so we incorporate all of the good stuff into our design.
And
absolutely.
Technologically, too. I mean, I saw that in everything you read. What might be your timeline, assuming this moves through council as well today, positively?
We've already completed the programming of the space. We've completed our community outreach. We're actually in conceptual and schematic designs with KME Architecture. We are already out. We're getting ready to go out for our CMAR, so we hope to break ground as early as next spring to summer with an 18-month build cycle. Hopefully the new library could open up late December 2024, early 2025 at the latest is what we're really shooting for.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The rooftop, you have wonderful space up there. In the future, do you look to do anything with your rooftop, gardenings, whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking to have, the way the building is designed, we have the grand lobby separate some of the public spaces from the library itself. So the library can be locked down, and those spaces on the rooftop can be used after hours. So that was one of the main goals, is to make sure that it's a multi-use building that could be left open till like maybe 10 o'clock for other events. And again, as I stated, the outdoor area, the plaza area would be useful for events that the community can put on. We do also have a small kitchen. I'm not going to call it a
Our event center.
event center kitchen, so they'll be able to utilize that as well, and a green room.
And is there any, because you mentioned the old library that has auditorium meeting space, is there anything new in this library that is more of an auditorium, larger meeting space, or no, it's just planned for the remodel?
It includes a 3,400 square foot event center that can be split in half. With the theater still in place and being used, we felt that the event center would be more beneficial to the community. It's capable of a lot more programming on our site for community benefits.
Well, it's very, very exciting, and I know everybody's looking forward to it. Councilman Knudsen, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I was just going to say I'm a little jealous, and I wish you were coming into Ward 1. And as I think it's a beautiful building, beautiful concept, and I would just say what I said privately to Councilman Creer. It's on, Creer. Bring it, because I got to compete with you, and I'm going to do it.
So if there is no questions or anything, commentary, Councilman Creer, how about you move this forward?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, let me just say how vitally important this is for our community. It really is something that is long overdue, and it's great to see us here at this point today. This started with a conversation that me and I see Councilman Coffins here, his liaison, Felipe Ortiz, who was chair of the board at the time, and we talked about the current library, West Las Vegas Library, how it's underutilized and the services aren't there. It's super small. We had a community meeting and indicate how small it is. The room that we had the meeting in, we were literally backed up into the actual library, and the ceilings are low, and it's just served its purpose. It was beautiful when it was built. I remember when it came as a young kid and seeing it, but it has served its time and served its purpose, and we want to find a better way to repurpose that building, potentially with the expansion of the West Las Vegas Arts Center. We have the theater now, and so it's a win-win for everybody, win-win for our community, and we're just super, super excited. I have to thank Mr. Watson as well for when he came on board to continue the conversations, right? He had an option, I'm sure, to say, well, I don't know if we're going to do this or not, or if we're going to keep pushing with this. And I have to thank you very much for your, steadfast efforts in making this happen, because I know that you got a lot of priorities when you come into a new job, and this was probably one of them, but it didn't have to be one of them. So thank you very much. And we've had a number of community meetings, as I've said. We are excited. The community is excited. It's a great use of the space for Enterprise Park. It rounds out everything that we're doing there, and it's going to be fantastic. And I just, like I always say sometimes, if I could vote twice yes for this, I would. So I don't know if there's any other questions, but I'd like to make a motion for approval. Item number 4.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to approve, and please vote and please post. 100%. Way to go. Thank you. We're excited.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you at the council meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Smith. And we will move on to our second citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Agency unless that subject's on the agenda scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Anybody wishing to speak in this public comment period? With that, seeing none, the Redevelopment Agency is adjourned, and we will start a city council meeting in 11 minutes at 9 o'clock. Thank you all. Excellent.
Get it moving. It's a little heavy.
Bob Coffin.
Your agenda.
Oh.
Your agenda. Here.
Here.
Let me just.
I love you.